What is up, mother pluckers? Welcome to another episode of Pop Trap, which I misspelled last fucking week and I put Pip Trap for some reason. It's because I'm blind, guys. Anyways, I could correct it, but I'm too lazy. But anyways, with that said, we have a special guest today, which you know he's not a guest. You know he like almost lives here, except for we're in quarantine, so can't really do much. And here he is with no pants. It's Sucio.
No pants on, baby. What up, baby? It's Sucio, a.k.a. Cerberus, a.k.a. Top Boy Supreme, a.k.a. Lesbian Wolverine, a.k.a. High-Powered Eddie Monster, a.k.a. your mama's ex-boyfriend. And thank you for having me back to Night Trap Podcast, the Pip Trap. I thought you were making a joke that you're doing like a pipe. It was like a skater joke. I thought that was like a skater joke, and I was like, oh, okay, like it's Pip Trap, like it's a whole different thing.
I just thought of Pip, like when you're Cheerio. Like you're fucking...
All right, governor.
I mean, I am a fan of the Flip guys. Most of them are from like Europe, so there you go. But anyways, with that said, I guess we have a weird topic, and I say weird topic, weird, because we're gonna talk about weird ass fucking movies, the weirdest movies we've ever seen. Not necessarily
That's right,
horror.
baby. We're getting down to the real catalog of things. This is the real stuff that me and this man talk about and try to. Obviously, with I guess movie weirdos like us, is that it's always a one-upsmanship, you know. It's always like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Because you want to be introduced to cool stuff, and at the same time, you want to show people your favorite stuff, right?
Yeah, there's some movies that like they're hard to explain sometimes. I guess weird movies just means that like it's those movies where you go like you just gotta go see it. You know? You just gotta see it because you won't understand. Like if you try to explain it, you don't make it justice or whatever. So I guess with that said, let's fucking start with some weird ass movies. I'm gonna let you fucking take the reins first, and then
you want me to go? All right.
Yeah, I have a couple. I don't really know if like they're like really weird, but I think they're at least unsettling enough that you're like, the fuck just happened, you know? And let's not say Tiger King, dude, because that shit's weird.
Bro, that's real, bro. Ain't nothing weirder than reality, baby.
And it's not a movie.
Yeah.
Did you see that shit that they said that he has coronavirus?
Oh, oh no, bro. That boy, there ain't nothing going right for that man.
It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. And supposedly, too, Donald Trump is like considering pardoning him or whatever. I'm like, you're an idiot. Anyways, let's do it.
It's perfect sentiment to what the state of the world, right?
Yep.
He became the spirit animal for everybody stuck in their houses.
He's not.
All right. Well. Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna start, and my room is all fucked up right now. Like it's all messy because I've been cleaning, and part of it is looking for the old videotapes of stuff that I was just trying to find right now too. I can't find that one. But I'm gonna start off with Frog Goes to Helltown, aka Roddy Piper, in a post-apocalyptic sex slave dungeon. Like you see, you just said it right now where we can't describe properly what it is, but obviously this is right after They Live.
What the fuck is that shit called?
Hell Goes to Frogtown.
Wow. The name's already weird.
So I mean, you talk about like it's almost let me put it this way: if frogs became mutated and took over the world, and then started having like human sex slaves, and Roddy Piper has to beat them up, that's what the movie's about. But there's not that much really cool action. It's just very strange and weird, and I can't even describe it. You know, like for me to describe it, that's how I'm gonna describe it. Like I can't even really describe it to you unless you watch it and you say, okay, this is a cool movie. Obviously, it's after They Live, which made Roddy Piper into a real, a part of the pop culture. So he started doing these like strange movies, and obviously he went off the rails at that point. You could tell that he was doing a bunch of cocaine, and hanging out with dudes and frogs. It's such a strange film. The mutants are weird. The main guys are weird. They have like a weird double talk. I mean, it's almost like a Silent Hill movie, or something. It's like it should be part of like the VHS collection. Like it should be one of those films where you're like, what the fuck did I watch?
So is it set in the future, in the past, or like alternate
It's
world?
set in the future of like 2015. So
2015?
we're currently living this right now.
We got frog people.
We're on the frog. We gotta. They have two dicks. I mean, like I said, it's a strange movie where they have obviously Roddy Piper's trying to be more serious and less of a jokester, and it doesn't. It just makes it look even more funny. You know, it's just like he's trying to act and bring a seriousness to it, and it's just making it even worse.
No, we just gotta say the line that he says in They Live, so I can put the clip in.
Okay.
What is it?
Beat your feet, boy.
I'm just here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of bubblegum, baby.
Roll clip.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Help us at Frogtown. Sucio's #1. I think this is available on YouTube. Now, some of the things I'm going to be saying are available on YouTube because I do want people to watch them. And I also kind of want to, like, if somebody likes these, like whether they like your pick or my pick, maybe we'll do like a watch party and watch them with people. We'll see what happens. We'll see what goes down. But Hell Goes to Frogtown. I doubt you'll find this anywhere else except YouTube. It's really such a strange film that you have to add it to your post-apocalyptic collection of the, you know, like the shitty post-apocalyptic. Like these are futures that you do not want to live in, and this is one of them. Hell Goes to Frogtown, baby.
All right, one of the weirdest, most unsettling movies that I've ever seen. I don't have them with me, and I wouldn't buy this piece of shit anyways because it's a shitty ass movie. But one of the weirdest movies that I saw when I was a kid is fucking Garbage Pail Kids, bro.
No, man. That's the worst of the worst, baby. That's
that
the worst
movie is fucking weird. It's fucking retarded. It's not even fun, man. But it is one of the weirdest movies because it's fucking surreal. Like, you don't know what these fucking things are.
I think I saw that movie recently, and as an adult, I've seen that movie multiple times, and still don't know what the fuck that movie's about.
I don't know. It was just trying. It's fucking gross. Like it's trying to gross people, but it's not even gross. Like in the like, it's kind of gross, but like it looks awesome. It's just fucking terrible. Like it's just being gross just to be gross. Like it's fucking. I don't know what it's about. When I was a kid, that shit gave me bad fucking like nightmares, dude.
I believe you completely, totally. I completely agree, and I think my dad took me to watch that in the theater. And my dad obviously is my dad. So if you can see how far the fucking apple has fallen from the tree, it's not that great. It rolled straight down the hill into the garbage. But I went to go watch that with my dad, and I remember my dad walking out of that film. Now I've seen my dad watch, you know, all types. My dad introduced me to like Reanimator and all these things when I was a little kid. He wasn't grossed out by stuff. That movie, I remember my dad being like, "Let's go."
Rest in peace.
7, right?
The director of Reanimator died, dude. Right?
Yeah, dude. I just saw that.
Oh, yeah, fucking sucks. But I don't know. Like I used to love the Garbage Pail Kids. It's an '80s, you know, like an '80s, early '90s, like imagery kind of thing where you're like, oh fuck yeah. I even bought one of the Funkos. But that fucking movie just fucking ruined it for me. Like, I think I was done with Garbage Pail Kids for like 20 years, bro. After that.
I'm pretty sure that they shot themselves in the foot with that one because those creatures, I mean, just the creatures were so horrible looking. They were just like these little monsters. Those creatures are what the sleep paralysis demon, that's their sleep paralysis demon, is the fucking Garbage Pail Kids.
But it's just surreal. I think that maybe if you get high or something, you're gonna go on a bad trip because that shit is just terrible. I only put it on this like for best weird movies. Kind of, this is like a best worst weird movie just because it's so fucking weird that like I mean you gotta see it at least once. I don't know if you can go through the whole thing, but watch at least like fucking 20 minutes of it. Just so that you know what the fuck I'm talking about, because It's I don't know. It's kind of a piece of shit, but it's kind of like one of those movies that you just gotta like be one of those people that's like, I saw it, and it fucking sucks. Anyway,
Dude, let me have a real story I had of that. I came home from a raid once, right? I came home from a raid, and I was all rolled out. I think I went to McDonald's. I went to McDonald's because like I hadn't eaten, and then plus the ecstasy had me all completely like, my stomach was all messed. I needed something in my body, so I went to McDonald's and I bought.
you gotta get them dick, motherfucker. I'm just kidding.
I got a McRib, the worst selection of all time to get when you're all rolled out. So I get home, right, and I start eating, and Garbage Pail. For some reason I start watching Garbage Pail's Kids on the computer, like online or whatever. So I start watching this, and within like 10 minutes, I'm immediately like outside puking. I've never puked on a roll before, and for some reason that I still can't eat a McRib without thinking about what's his name, Beastly Gary or whatever, like vomiting on that guy. Like I really do remember that. I'm traumatized physically from Garbage Pail Kids and McRibs. I can't do that no more.
Thank God you still have the fillet of fish, dude.
No, I love fillet of fish, dog. Shout out McDonald's.
Give me back the fillet of fish.
That little talking fucking fish.
Yeah. So moving on to your next weird fucking movie, bro.
All right, so this is another YouTube selection. This is
You gotta get them free movies, bro.
Yeah. So I used to do movie nights. I always like to do 2 movies with a band in the middle, and everything always connected because I would make like drinks associated with the thing. So every time like a zombie bit somebody, you got a shot. Like that's the easiest way I could explain it to you. I would always give prizes and toys and shit that came out, props. It was whatever. It was for fun. So one of them that I wanted to do recently, but I couldn't get the rights to it, and I might be able to now because I wanted to pair this up with Venom. The movie that just came out, Spider-Man. Sony is it's called Brain Damage. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Brain Damage, but so it's like an alien that infests a guy, and it like protects him, and at the same time is going on its own trip of like eating people, but it comes out of his dick and it eats people. It's such a strange, very, very, very strange film about aliens, and I can't even explain it to you because some of those things hurt your head. Like
I have a T-shirt of that because our old sponsor, Versailles Shop of Horrors, gave me a bunch of T-shirts, and I always associate Brain Damage with Street Trash because Street Trash is another movie where like hobos are like, well, they're being killed and they melt and shit. It's fucking weird. Anyways, Brain Damage.
Yeah, Brain Damage, alien infection. I mean, you're talking about strange sexual scenes, and at the same time, a very good dialogue between the parasite and the person. The story doesn't make, it makes sense. The story is actually interesting enough to keep you going along and to be in. It's one of those shitty 80s films that you'll never ever see on TV, like Repo Man or stuff like that, Maniac Cop. It's within that same school of cinematography and like horror action, kind of like violence. To me, Brain Damage, watch it. It's free on YouTube. I'm gonna try to throw the movie night and have Brain Damage and Venom together. We'll see if I get a clearance. Like I don't know yet. Like everything's up in the air because of Rona. But when I come back, I want to start doing movie nights again. So we'll see.
Damn, dude, fucking coronavirus is. So if you have a fever, watch some of these movies so that you can go even crazier. Get in some fever dreams. But anyways, I guess I'm gonna move on to my next movie.
Wait, before you move on, one of the worst fever dreams I had, I remember I had this stalker, right? So I never went out with her. I never brought her to my house. I never had sex. We went out on one date. After that, I was like, nah, it's cool. Like, you have your own thing, I'll have my own thing. So she kept insisting on going out with me. One day I got sick, and she would go to my work and check on me. She would go check on me at work to see if I was there. And they told her, oh man, Sucio didn't call. Sucio didn't even call. Nobody knows what happened to him. Like, he just got sick. What happened is I ate Burger King and I got sick, right? So I had food poisoning. So I used to watch, and I still watch, a lot of Unsolved Mysteries. So I'm like passing out. I have like food poisoning, and I'm watching Unsolved Mysteries, and then I start hearing a knocking on my window. My window is so far into the back of the house that you have to traverse through like a back area to knock on my window. So she's like, "Oh, everybody's worried about you. Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yo, who the fuck told you? Hold up, wait a minute. Who told you where I lived? What room I lived in? What where?" And then on top of that, I'm all fever. I'm like sweating. I'm all sick, and Unsolved Mysteries wakes me up and like, and I'm like, oh fuck, it's over. That's it. This is how it ends. And I remember thinking like, this is how it ends. Like, I'm done. I'm done for. It's over. Anyways, that's my story.
You just reminded me of basketball when they're asking where Joe Cooper is to the Unsolved Mysteries guy.
A young man, his whole life in front of him, disappears. A familiar story, yes, but this is no ordinary Joe. Joseph R. Cooper, perhaps the most loved sports figure in the country, vanished. According to Mrs. Elsie Melcher, a neighbor who asked not to be identified, Joe Cooper left his house 2 weeks ago. According to Angelique Bones, a nosy bitch who lives up the street, he took with him only a toothbrush, a wallet, a steamer trunk, and a plane ticket to Calcutta. Police theorize several possible scenarios of what happened with a man affectionately known to the world as Coop.
Well, I don't know where the hell he is. For all I care, he could be hanging by his neck in his fucking closet.
Scenario number 1. He's hanging by his neck in his fucking closet.
Fucking hilarious. That song, dude. The
I saw that for sale, like on vinyl. I want to look for that one, but I just can't find it.
fucking Unsolved Mysteries, dude. That fucking show used to creep me the fuck out. Now I see it and it's so terrible. Fucking show. All the dramatizations or whatever, they look like shit, dude.
It's always like a slow motion. It's like a frame freeze of somebody crashing, and it's always the same, like reducing frame freeze, like like it's the same.
What sucks is that it's always like, oh, this guy raped this girl and we don't know where he is. And you're like, oh, god damn it, dude.
Now on Pluto, I think it's Pluto. It's Pluto and Amazon. They have Unsolved Mysteries like streaming. A lot of the newer ones, or I guess they've updated almost every single one of them. Because I've seen like from season 1 to 8. Because I think there's 12, and you could see that almost every single one has an update and a solve, except for like one in every episode, which is really strange because you're like, what happened to that fucking murderer? And the only one that hasn't been caught, like the worst murderer of all time.
It's probably Joe Exotic. Anyways. Oh no, it's Carol Baskin, dude. It's that bitch Carol. Or Jeff Lowe. But oh my.
Fuck that guy. Like I don't understand. Anyways, whatever.
So my next movie is a classic, dude. And this fucking movie creeped me the fuck out. I saw it with my cousin for the first time ever. He rented it from like the fucking library because he's like, I want to see what this fucking movie's all about because, you know, it's a classic, I guess, or wherever. And it's David Lynch's, which everything that David Lynch does is fucking weird. But this is Eraserhead, dude. Eraserhead is a fucking weird movie that supposedly has like a fucking message behind it, but to this day I don't fucking understand. Even if you tell me what the message is, I don't know what the fuck is happening. There's a lady singing in the fucking radiator. There is a fucking baby, weird ass fucking baby that's wrapped in like fucking what's it called, like gauze and shit, and it's all wet and shit, and the baby looks creepy as hell. It's like all like stop motion.
The worm baby.
It's just a fucking weird fucking movie, and if you want to get like a little creeped out without having a fucking answer to what's happening, you should watch some David Lynch movies, because David Lynch is one of the weirdest. Probably Twin Peaks, one of the weirdest shows ever, but it's still, I could still understand that more than Eraserhead, dude. Eraserhead is just, it's a fucking creepy ass movie, and it's in black and white too, dude. So like, I always found black and white movies to be a little scarier, just because you could see you could distinguish between light and shadow like really good. Not like when it's in color, it kind of, you know, other colors kind of like, I don't know. I guess color gives like more positivity, but when it's in black and white, it's all just fucking dark and shit. So I don't know. Like that movie is one of the weirdest.
All I see is color, and all I have is negative thoughts, baby.
Yeah, dude.
H-O-T.
But Eraserhead, a good ass fucking movie. It's a very well made movie, and it's just fucking weird. I don't know what David Lynch is on half of the time. I do like the way he talks when he does like, "Hey, we're going to watch this movie." He's fucking weird. Oh, he comes out in Twin Peaks, one of the agents or whatever. So.
He's the agent.
Yeah. Well, he's not the agent. He's the other agent, but because Agent Cooper is the agent. The other one.
Yeah.
He's the one
he's gone. He disappeared, bro.
Yeah, but he's cool. Cool ass fucking movie. That one's stylish and it's a little weird. But yeah, go watch it. I don't know if it's on YouTube or whatever. It probably is. To be honest, it's fucking old as shit though.
Touch a little bit on Eraserhead. I remember watching Eraserhead, and my next film, because I was actually gonna bring Eraserhead up and the next one up. They were on my list, but you beat me to it. Now, just a very short thing of Eraserhead. To me, Eraserhead, and this is what he said, because I think I watched the director's commentary once. Like, I had an ex who was all about David Lynch, and you know, Blue Velvet, all that stuff. It's still kind of very difficult to watch as an adult. You know, I'm a 30-year-old man, and it's still you go back and you watch it. But Eraserhead was supposed to be about loneliness and about, you know, people kind of suffering by themselves, even though they're surrounded by people, they still feel isolated and sad, which I feel very strange is a context for what's happening right now amongst all of us. Although we're, you know, very close together, we still can't get in contact with each other. And Eraserhead, that girl with the giant face that was singing, what's her face? Like, she was supposed to represent his idea of a perfect woman, whereas the woman he had obviously like didn't give a shit about him, and all this bad stuff happened. I'm not gonna give anything away for Eraserhead. It's a great film.
You still have to watch it, like, to completely see what's happening, because this fucking movie's kind of like a fucking, what would I call it? It's kind of those weird-ass fucking, like, those Tool videos. It's kind of like one of those. You hate Tool videos?
I hate Tool, bro.
Nah, I don't hate Tool.
I hate Tool.
I don't. Tool? No, I don't, because I think Maynard James, he's kind of a genius, not because of Tool, but because of other projects too that he has done that are like fucking amazing. For example, I'm just gonna give an example. The last Perfect Circle album is like a fucking masterpiece, dude.
Well, okay, I'm gonna distinguish myself by saying I hate Tool, mainly their fans. Because to me, Tool, I always associated Tool with the neighbor guy that I lived with when I was like a little kid, and he would always beat up his wife and his son, and he'd be blasting fucking Tool all day long. I hate.
And I get it. It's like Tool fans are those kind of fans that are like, oh, you gotta be smart to like get it. You gotta like be like fucking complicated in your mind, and that's not fucking true. You don't need to enjoy music. You don't need shit, dude. To enjoy music, you need fucking ear holes. That's it. So yeah, that's kind of bullshit. I mean, I'm saying this with my.
How do you explain those people who listen to Pitbull?
Dude, I think that they just fucking enjoy it, you know? Like, I mean, some people like to shake their ass. Well, whatever. Let them be. Just don't do it at my house. But yeah.
You know, the funny thing about, I tell people I don't like Tool, but I like A Perfect Circle quite a lot.
Yeah,
I love Dana Carey.
A lot of people hate Slipknot too, and I love Slipknot, dude. I mean,
I just think they got associated with the wrong fucking thing.
I mean, I'm wearing a mask, so you know, kind of a whole gimmick kind of thing. But the last Slipknot album is like amazing, dude. Anyways, I digress. Eraserhead. Watch that shit. Moving on to Sucio, which he's over here. Look, I want to poke his. All right.
So okay, part two. I was gonna continue on with the. You know, I didn't know what we were gonna talk about really, but one of the ones that really affected me when I was younger. So I feel like when started coming of age, when I started finding shit out, right? It was people kept introducing me to certain stuff. You know, you watch horrible movies like Shiloh, and you know, you watch terrible things. Now, I'm not gonna
Like Shiloh.
I'm not talking about Shiloh. It's been talked about too much. It's garbage. Now, the next one has a very interesting role in filmmaking, which is Tetsuo the Iron Man. Now, Tetsuo the Iron Man and Tetsuo the Bullet Man and Tetsuo the Iron Bullet or whatever, it has multiple different variations. Each one is more strenuous on your brain. Like, it's such a difficult film to be in. It's part Akira, it's part Eraserhead. I mean, it really messes with you. You don't know if the main character is dead and is hallucinating. You don't know if he's going on like a backwards trip, sort of like irreversible. Like, that one is such a strange film to watch, whether you're a kid or an adult. But I remember people showing me that movie and me saying, what the fuck is this even about? Like, you know, how many times have I watched that film and still been like, I'm still trying to grasp a hold of it after 5-6 viewings? You know, how many times can you watch that without you yourself going crazy? It's the Nicolas Cage complex, where if you try to figure out if Nicolas Cage is good or bad, you're gonna kill yourself, because, like, you know, Nicolas Cage is unsolvable. Like, you know, he's good in bad movies and he's bad in good movies. Like, it's just a strange thing. And Tetsuo the Iron Man is so. I'll give the people a little bit, because I know this is available on YouTube as well. A dude gets into a car crash, and then the car starts absorbing his body. Like, he gets sent to the junkyard or whatever, and he starts absorbing pieces and like running people down, and at some point he becomes a train. Such a strange film. I mean, it's such a weird film to get a grasp of, just like Eraserhead. Black and white, very ugly, starch sounds. It's overbearing. It gets down to you. It drills into your soul.
Yeah, that sounds pretty weird. I haven't seen that. I think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
I don't recommend that for a casual viewer. I recommend that for a person who is about film. I recommend that for people who, like I said, like Eraserhead. If you like Eraserhead, you'll probably love Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Cool. I'm gonna watch that shit. Now, let me do it right now.
Nah, the last time I recommended something, you tried to burn me on Torso. And Torso is great.
Torso is alright. I wouldn't watch it again. But anyways, let's not get into that again. So I'm gonna move on to my next one, which I kind of went for, except for fucking, I guess, because God knows who the fucking director for Garbage Pail Kids is. But I did go to, he's probably dead. I did go to like some of the bigger, I guess, directors. But one of my favorites that I think is weird, I mean, yeah, you can follow the story, but to me it was a little weird because I read the book first, and the book had a way different ending than the actual movie. And when I saw the movie, I was like, this movie has no message. It's literally just fucking violence. And it is a Clockwork Orange, bro.
Clockwork Orange. I remember renting Clockwork Orange from the Clardy Fox library and going home and putting it on and being like, what the fuck is this? I mean, I must have been 10 years old when I watched it.
Yeah, that movie, it has rape in it. It has multiple. I think it has like 2 scenes of rape. It has extreme, I guess, for the time, but if in total context, it is extreme violence because
ultra violent.
Yeah, it's this. I mean, if you don't know the story, it's this teenager that he's like fucking. He feels powerful, and you know he really isn't. He's like a little brat fucking kid, you know, and he's just like living at home. He doesn't give a shit. He just fucks whoever he wants. He's like the leader of the gang, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The Droogs,
and he just goes out there and steals money from people and rapes people and fucking fights other gangs and shit. Which I guess to a point, it's like, yeah, like that happens to us. Maybe not to that extreme, but we do think when we're teenagers that we're like invincible and who cares if we die or whatever. But he gets into a program where they remove the fucking violence out of him by every time that he thinks about violence, sex, anything bad, he like has seizures and shit. But
it's like me with Garbage Pail Kids and McRibs.
But I mean, yeah. But I mean, spoiler alert, the end of this movie, he basically gets away with it. Like, he returns to being the same person that he was from the beginning, and that's it. But in the book, he grows up, he has a family, and he learns that he was a stupid kid, that he shouldn't have done all the shit that he did. He kind of regrets it because now he has a daughter. You know, he doesn't want his daughter to get raped and shit. So in the book, it has a more human fucking ending. But Stanley Kubrick, being the fucking crazy asshole that he is, he just left it open like that, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, violence prevails? And they had to fucking ban this movie in the UK because it was creating a lot of violence in teenagers. So, I mean, that's my third pick right there. Is it third or second? No, third, right?
I think they were like on 4 now.
No, mine was Garbage. Oh, Eraserhead and Clockwork. Okay, your turn. Your turn.
All right. All right. I mean, when I started, when you told me about this, that you wanted to do this, I said I wanted to do stuff that kind of got people into different parts. Now, my next one is gonna be Santa Sangre. I mean, obviously, Santa Sangre has been spoken about a lot, but I feel when you watch this film, you know, you can't. You even if I try to explain it to you,
there's an elephant dying in this shit, right?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. This film is just full of a lot. First of all, the imagery is beautiful, stark, realistic, and horrible, and lovely at the same time. Like the color palettes, the framing, a lot of the acting. Even though the acting is kind of cartoony, carnival-esque, at the same time, it explores things of burlesque. It explores things of religion. It explores things of sanity. And at the same time, you're watching this film, and it's essentially a play. You're watching a play. You're watching something that, you know, should be watched on stage, but they just had the money to make it into an actual fucking movie. So that's the way I took about it, where, you know, this dude gets traumatized as a child. He watches his father kill his mother. She did a bunch of shit to them too. So it does, you know, you go through this film, nobody's a sympathetic hero. The main character is slowly losing his mind. You think he's killing people. There's a murderer that's murdering people just like his mother was murdered. You don't know if it's him. You don't know if it's another main character. It has enough intrigue to follow along. You get to the end, and the end doesn't hurt you because, you know, if you talk about Andrew Jardowski, you talk about what's that weird one that he fucking had? God damn it, I fucking forgot it. But he had another bunch of weird ones where each one is stranger. Now, if you want to get into Andrew Jardowski, start with Santa Sangre and work your way later on. Because to me, Santa Sangre is so strange that I can't give it enough. I have no way to describe it to you, to be like, hey man, you gotta watch it. They eat an elephant and all this. You know, it's stupid if I say so. But if you watch it on screen, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, I get what this is about. You know, you understand more. And I believe that's the epitome of a good filmmaker. They take an abstract idea and they somehow present it to you in a way where you understand it. And you know, Andrew Jodorowsky really does that. Holy Mountain, you know, he does that with Holy Mountain, where it's like, you know, part of it is quiet, another chunk of it is just imagery, but you understand the story of it. So if you want to get into weirder, more like actual framed cinematography and editing, watch Santa Sangre and then get into the weirder stuff after you watch Santa Sangre.
Yeah, I saw the movie because I used to listen to this podcast called The Room Work Radio, and they talk about everything horror. It was one of my favorite podcasts, but they used to talk about, you know, music, movies, whatever. And I remember there was a release of Santa Sangre, and they like interviewed the director or whatever. And I went to see it because of that whole elephant and all that shit. I mean, it's a 70s, it's a 70s or 60s movie, but it's one of those that like the colors are really bright in it. So like,
80s, huh? I think it made it look to
maybe
be 70s.
maybe like late 70s then, because like I remember the blood and all that shit is like super bright. It's that fucking like bright, like really bright. There's like stabbing. There's like a bunch of stabbing. I think it's about the girl, no, more than anything.
You know, it's about multiple characters at the same time, but they don't tell you because you are walking into a film kind of backwards. You know, you start at the middle, and then they give you a flashback, and then you go back to the middle, and then they go forward. It has a good way of pacing the film without ruining the ending. Where you don't guess the bad guy, even if you want to believe that it's the main character or the girl. They still give you reasons to not do it because other people are fucking douchebags and crazy and pirates and midgets and fucking bearded ladies, and it's a strange film that should be watched once at least, and if you like it, explore Andrew Jodorowsky
and watch Freaks. But let me move on to I guess it's my fourth movie now. But my fourth movie is a movie that I've been telling you to watch, and it's weird in the sense that like you don't know, it's futuristic, but you don't know what the fuck is happening. No, it's not shopping mall, and no, it's not hardware, but
it's Silent Night 2.
Fuck that movie. No, it's a Guns Akimbo, bro.
Yeah.
And Guns Akimbo is a movie with Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself, which I love every single fucking movie that Daniel Radcliffe has done after fucking Harry Potter, dude. Harry Potter is way overrated. I mean, I don't mind them, but I don't think they should be as big as they are. But you know what? Thanks to that shit, Daniel Radcliffe doesn't need to do like fucking other like huge movies because he can do.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do romantic comedies. He could do Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So he probably just picks the fucking weirdest movies that can come. Which Guns Akimbo is one of the weirdest. I think it's even weirder than Horns and that Swiss Army Man, which are two really, really weird fucking movies. If you don't know, Swiss Army Man is about a guy that's like stuck in an island with his friend, or it's not his friend, but he's a corpse. And the corpse talks back to him in his mind, I guess. I don't know. It's fucking weird. And Horns is where he's growing fucking horns like the fucking devil or whatever. But Guns Akimbo is about a troll from the internet. It's like a fucking alternate universe, futuristic, whatever, like place. Mm-hmm. Where this reality show is being shown on TV, and it's like the biggest reality show on the internet. I guess it's not on TV, it's on the internet. It's called Schism. And what they do is like they basically send like two hitmen to like fight each other in the real world, and they just stream it with like drones and shit. So Daniel Radcliffe is like a big fucking troll. I think he creates video games. He works for a video game company. He's a developer. But he sees like this thing on Schism or whatever, and he just decides to answer a comment and be like, "You're a fucking pussy ass" or whatever, just being a troll. And the guys from Schism like end up showing up to his house, like being like, "Oh, you think you're all badass behind your keyboard? Well, let's fucking see it, you know?" So they kick his ass, and when he wakes up, he has fucking guns nailed to his hands. He can't take the guns off his hands, so he has to go basically throughout the rest of the movie with guns in his hands, as being a target for one of the best, I guess, hitman, whatever, for the show Schism. So he has to escape, and he only has like 40 bullets on each hand. So it's funny, it's fucking weird, because you've never seen anything like this. It's really fast paced. The action is pretty awesome, and I like that they didn't make like Daniel Radcliffe be like this like ninja master or whatever. Like, he's not good. He's just an idiot with guns in his hands. So he's just running around on like fucking pantuflas and shit. Like he looks fucking dumb as shit, but it's fucking funny and it's a good ass fucking movie. It has, I don't know, it really surprised me. I really want this like fucking movie like on fucking Blu-ray and shit. The soundtrack is amazing, and it is like it just you can understand what it's about and shit, but it's just weird the things how it's happening. You know, like all these things, and then it has like a little twist at the end too. That's pretty cool, better than any M. Night Shyamalan bullshit. But Guns Akimbo is a great recommendation. It's one of the weird ones. See the other ones too. If you haven't seen Horns, Swiss Army Man, if you haven't seen those, go fucking see those too. But Guns Akimbo, really like strongly fucking recommended fucking movie. It's an amazing movie, man.
Fantastic. I mean, I've been wanting to watch Horns. I saw Swiss Army Man. Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. I'm glad that he's doing his thing. So, I've been wanting to watch it. I don't know. I think, what is it on Netflix?
It's not. I fucking saw it like on a fucking illegal kind of stream, but you can fucking rent it for like $3.
I saw it streaming somewhere. I know it's streaming somewhere. So,
maybe Amazon Prime or something. I don't know.
All right. So I'm gonna go a little bit too far, and I don't know how you're gonna feel about
too weird.
This one. But what, Critters? No.
A little too weird.
No, it's I'm gonna call it weird because it is an avant-garde film. It is a film that has no real story unless you are paying attention. It's called Part Time by Jacques Tati, who is famous for his Professor Halou series, right? He's the guy who made Pink Panther, basically.
Okay.
But, so he spent like $50 million on this film. This is back in 1950, whatever. Now, the film itself is about a group of people, like a, how do I call it? Like a tourist, like people who are being sold condos. So they're being sold condos to this like futuristic apartment building / like a whole neighborhood, right? The whole city is automated. Everything opens for you automatically. Like it's a futuristic city. But if you pay attention to it, this film, because it's just a group moving through the city, being they're having a guided tour, and you're going along with them. Now, the human element of the film intersecting with the machinery, right? Because machines can't predict what human beings are gonna do. So every time a stupid human being puts like a cup, puts a cup on the wrong place, like it creates a chain reaction. Now, if you watch this film, it has like maybe 5 or 6 different storylines going on without any introduction. You have no characters with main names. You have people who are just working. You get to know certain spots because they go back to the cafeteria or they go up to the roof or whatever it is. Now you have to pay attention to this film because, like I said, it has like 5 or 6 different storylines going on at the same time, and you're watching these people, like this group of tourists, destroy this futuristic environment, this futuristic landscape, because they're just human beings. They don't flush the toilet. Or they flush the toilet too many times and it causes a toilet to overflow, and then the water comes down and somebody slips and then they fall, and then it creates this whole entire mess of things, and you're just sitting there like, holy fuck, like these people don't see what's happening, and all these people are like turning fires off behind them. It's like it's almost like if you're playing The Sims, but you're watching this predecessor to The Sims where some strange character is overviewing them, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on through that whole film? It's not a shitty film. It's not a fantastic film, but if you watch it once, or if you watch it twice, you will watch 2 entirely different movies because you're focusing on something different. You watch it the 3rd time and you're like, oh, I remember all this stuff, and then you realize how those 2 stories connect. Then you watch it again and you're like, what the fuck is happening here? It's such a strange film with so much depth, and not there's no zombies, there's no aliens, there's no robots, there's no evil people. It's such a strange film of consequence. There's no collusion. It's just people like oh, I'm gonna put some trash down, and then somebody comes and throws it away, and then all this shit. It's really strange how that film intersects with itself on multiple stories, and there's no, there's no like main characters that are in love or having. It's just a group of tourists, and people at the end, they're like, oh yeah, that was a great tour, and the fucking place is on fire. Like from when they came in to when they left, they're like, oh shit, how did this happen? Anyways, part-time. Jock Tati, it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's considered a film masterpiece just because of the set design. Now, if you are a set design person, this man sunk $50 million of his money, which is like, it's 3 times that much now. Like, he wasted his life savings, ruined his career, ruined the careers of a lot of people, completely, messed up his marriage, everything for this film. So I think you should watch this film as a recommendation for this man's destroyed life and his weird vision of the future. Jock Tati's part-time.
Sweet. All right, I'm gonna look that shit up too, man, cause never even heard of it. All right, so
I think that's on YouTube as well.
Okay, I'm gonna look. You just like free movies, bro.
I want to give people free movies. I've always done that. I was looking at somebody brought up something, and I was like, yeah, I did that. Like, I used to write a column that I would do free remixes. People would do remixes, and I would give them away. Like, here's the link.
Mixtape.
Yeah.
Let's do a mixtape. All right, so this is gonna be my last one. Before I mentioned my last weird movie, which I think is probably one of the best movies ever made, but. I wanted to. I have some honorable mentions, of course. Requiem for a Dream. One of them, dealing with drugs and shit, which makes it completely fucking weird. Hobo with a Shotgun. Another like futuristic that's one of my personal favorite movies. Another like futuristic kind of fucking where drugs are taking over the place, and right at the middle of the movie, it takes a twist where like there's these 2 anti-heroes, and it's a weird, kind of movie, but it's fun. I feel like a lot of horror movies, they land into the weird category just because, they have to be like this supernatural thing that you don't understand really. That's what makes something scary, when you don't understand it, like The Blob, like The Thing,
or like why my pee burns when I go to the restroom.
Yeah,
that's
like The Fly. I think The Fly, the one with Jeff Goldblum, is one of the weirdest movies too. Just what do they call it? I think they call it like body horror, or what is it like? It's when
I think it is called. It's where you watch a human being become a monster. You watch him fall apart slowly. It's not the Wolfman where he changes real cool, but like it's American Werewolf in London where that guy's like it looks painful, right? It's painful.
Yeah, so it's like any of that, like Aliens, like The Thing, like The Fly, where you see like their skin ripping and you see like insides and shit. It's fucking weird. I think it's called body horror or something like that. But anyways, my last movie, which is probably considered the first horror movie ever made, and it's The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It is one of the weirdest fucking movies, which takes a few views to really understand if this guy, is crazy, if he was like really crazy, if everybody else is crazy. You don't really understand. You could actually make it into your own thing at the end, like, because it's a silent movie, of course, considered one of the first horror movies ever. The way that it was filmed, it was to where the director had to like make weird fucking shapes of the windows, the buildings and shit. That's imagery is like now used a lot by Tim Burton, but back then it was kind of showing this guy, the Dr. Caligari, going crazy. That's the way he was showing it, by like misshaping everything around him and making everything look weird, but in his mind everything is like normal. It's an awesome fucking movie. It's probably on YouTube. There are a few collections. There's one on Blu-ray where it has like the slides where where it tells you like when they're talking and shit. There's the original slides where I think they're in German and then they have subtitles, or you can see the American slides, which just has everything in English. But those are kind of lame. The German ones look fucking badass. But I think that thanks to this movie, weird movies exist, horror movies exist, and you know, like fucking over the top acting like they used to is like there, and I think. And it's fucking cool because since it's a silent movie, you can pretty much put whatever soundtrack you want to it. So
Rob Zombie all day long.
Tool, let's put some Tool.
Bro, is there a soundtrack to The Devil's Rejects?
But if you could put like the original soundtrack to it with the Blu-ray, I think it has it. It has an actual orchestra doing that shit. That's pretty cool. So I think that's my number one for the weirdest movies that I've ever seen. It's a must-watch for horror fans, dude. So just fucking watch it and then go listen to the Misfits or some shit, whatever.
It's the predecessor of a lot of modern horror. I completely agree with you. People should watch that, not with an open mind, but just to understand where the culture is. Like, you know, it's like watching Carnival of Souls. Have you seen Carnival of Souls?
Yeah, that was one of the first horror movies I saw when I was a kid.
It's one of those things where you have to watch Carnival of Souls. You have to watch Dr. Caligari. Like, you know, Nosferatu. And stranger enough, like, I know there was, I think it was Italian filmmakers. They did the Dante's Inferno.
Oh, yeah.
In, like they looks like Melee.
That one's on
like
YouTube.
Yeah, that one's fucking strange. You sit there and you're like, how the fuck are these people doing this in 1919 or 1921 or whatever?
Yeah, anyways, Dante's Inferno, and you see you see like Satan eating like people and shit. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, he looks like a guy, right? He's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Like a mono. He looks like a mono.
Yep, it's fucking weird. So anyway, do you have any honorable mentions or any other movies?
I mean, you know, if I wanna mention stuff at this point, it's gonna be stuff that'll make you sad. I think the stuff I threw out there is kind of a mix of things. If I wanna hurt your feelings, I'm gonna show you Grave of the Fireflies, which is an anime about World War II. Like, if I really want to gross you out, I would just show you, what was it called? I can't even remember it anymore. That's not Shiloh. It's the other one that's like Shiloh. Whatever. Like, I think when it comes to the weirdest films you've watched, some of the weirdest films I've watched, I still don't know why people like Labyrinth. People really like Labyrinth, and I'm like, why do you fucking like Labyrinth?
I think people like Labyrinth because of David Bowie, but I think that's a fine movie. I don't think it's too much weird there. But there's other weirder movies too, like Mandy.
I like Never-Ending Story,
Mandy from Nicolas Cage is like one of the weirdest fucking movies I've ever seen. But I don't even know if it's recommendable because it's so weird that
Mandy, dude, we can get into it on Mandy. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that it was a good or a bad movie. I really wanted it to be, I wanted it to turn into something like crazy. If that guy was gonna be summoning Cthulhu, I wanted fucking Cthulhu to come out.
Well, it's just Nicolas Cage acting crazy, the movie.
Well, if you want to say Nicolas Cage acting crazy, watch The Wicker Man. Like, you want to say a fucking weird movie that's
not this.
That movie doesn't make sense. No matter what the fuck, you just keep watching and you're like, why?
That movie's terrible.
What's the point? You're just like, who came up with this situation? Nicolas Cage, what is this?
It's so dumb. But anyways, with that said, let's leave it there because we're almost at an hour. Which
are we really? Damn.
But I think that, we did talk about some good ones. I think that these are the best ones, except for Garbage Pail Kids, which I just think...
That's a piece of shit. That's a piece of garbage.
Yeah, but it's such a fucking weird fucking thing that you just gotta see it to understand. That's why I put it in there.
We still watch it this day, I still see that on TV. So it obviously means something if it's still on TV.
That's what I'm saying. Just watch it just to fucking, like, get a laugh at how terrible it is, because it's fucking terrible. But anyway, with that said, remember to click like, share, and subscribe. Remember to fucking follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, follow this man on fucking Instagram. I love Sucio. And stay safe, stay home. Don't be fucking spreading that shit, all over the place, please. We need to be alive because we have a very special unboxing that we're waiting to do until this man can come back to the dungeon when he's allowed in the dungeon again.
The Fungin.
And it's a very special unboxing that I would like Reggie to fucking to join us for too, so that we can fucking really really get into it and review it, unbox it, and fucking just whatever, dude. Have fun and get drunk or whatever. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. Remember, stay home. Like this guy, he's home. He's home right there. I'm home. Well, I'm at the dungeon. I need to go down to the dungeon, but my home is up there. But not really. But with that said, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys. Stay sweet. Don't change. Have a great summer. Keep in touch. Peace.
Later,
Love you guys. Stay home. Be safe, mijo.